Hello and welcome. I'm just going to put this before the video because the video kind of messed up a little bit with when I recorded it. So I just wanted to change a few things. I just wanted to add this on to begin to show that, yeah, I know the video messed up. I would have recorded it, but you know me, I'm pretty lazy. I say that as the way that I'm going to work this out is I put photos from every time frame that I put it up as. I put them on there and I make the lips move because I guess it's something different. I would have made it animated and stuff, but I'm crap at animation and I don't really have the time to do it, nor the patience, nor do I really want to do it to begin with anyway. Either way, as I am talking, this is editing along. So it might be up sometime this week. Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to go over the fact that this whole video is going to be about sort of like mental health over the last decade. I will do another video going over sort of a montage, I would say, of like what I've done over the last nearly 10 years. It's been about 8 years since I started doing YouTube and stuff. So I'm going to go over that sort of stuff and that'll be fun. But yeah, so I'm going to do all that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. This is a bit stupid, but I thought I'd put something that's a bit animated because like, I can move and that, and I'm a bit stupid with how I recorded it to begin with, and I kind of messed it up. And it was recording my curtains for about 40 minutes. So yeah, I decided that instead of it being sort of like, I mean, to be fair, it isn't really visual. Like all it is just me sitting down being like, hey, mental health, depression, boo, like all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I kind of make it, instead of it being like a podcast sort of thing, I'm gonna have like me sort of like moving my lips. I'll put photos in there and stuff, like I put a bit of editing in there. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to turn out. It might look a bit weird, if I'm honest. I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it anyway. I will be doing some more videos this year because I want to get into the swing of things. And I got this phone that I actually want to do editing on, because that was one of the main reasons why I got this phone. And yes, I know I work at a phone shop, but even still, I want to use my phone for editing and stuff. Like, you know, like I've got, I don't know if this is going to stop the editing, but look, I've got a pen for pen things. I want to do editing, so now that I've got a phone that can record in 4K, so you can see my lovely face in 4K, I guess. I don't know. I probably won't render things out in 4K, not because my computer can't handle it. It can. It's just that I don't know if it's worth putting me out in 4K. I might do later down the line. Like I might put some 4K videos out. Looks a bit blurry at the moment. There is some dust on the lens, which I will have to unsmudge, but I have to take my case off to do that, which is great. But yeah, the main thing I did was I tried to use the back camera, which I can't see obviously the video because the video is on this side and the back camera's on the back. And yeah, I ended up recording my curtain for about 40 minutes. Luckily now, with my watch, I can actually see whether or not something's recording. So I will start using that more. Or I will just use it like this and actually move around, walk around. I can be like, whoa, look, see, I can move. Whereas if I'm sitting on a chair, it's sort of like, hello, welcome. I am going to drink some tea now. But yeah, I use like the microphone on Audacity and stuff, so the audio is good, the visuals is trash. But yeah, instead of just having still images, my lips are going to move, which is going to look creepy as fuck, but who cares? We'll give it a go anyway. So I hope you enjoy the video. Anyway, oh my god, what am I doing with my life? I shall see you later. Enjoy. Welcome. It's been a while, to be fair. Quite some time. Nearly a year, I would say. I mean, I uploaded a video the other day, and that was pretty much when we went camping. Probably the last 5 months up until like November, I would say, when Sophie finally came down here, which was nice. Yeah, I've been kind of not really doing much other than just working and stuff like that, you know, hanging out with Sophie, living what a life, I guess. Is this what life is? What living is? Going to work, spending a couple of days out with my mates, drinking, down the pub after work sometimes. Do I know how to live? Nah. But anyway, because of that, I haven't really done any editing, I haven't done any filming, I haven't done any of this, done any of that. And I could start this whole video off being like, hey, happy 2020, you know, like, new year, new me, and stuff like that. But that, no one knows, no one thinks it's going to happen. And I know for a fact that's not going to happen. I'm making this video just to sort of, not for people to watch necessarily, it's more for sort of like a recap for me, I guess. Hey, if people watch it, that'd be great, but I gave up on YouTube, like making videos for, you know, like, ooh, YouTube as a job and things like that. I gave up on that idea like long ago. Long ago. But, you know, I'm happy just doing the occasional video here and there, like when I feel the inspiration. Like, I do still like doing editing and things like that. And I do really want to get back into editing, but at the same time, I'm kind of feeling like I don't have much motivation for video anymore, which kind of sucks. Depression for you, I love it. And that's also another topic that I want to go through on this video. So I did kind of write down a list, but currently it is on the phone that you are watching, well, not that you're watching this from. I mean, I may be nerdy, but I ain't a hacker, so I don't know how to do that. But no, it's on the phone that's recording this, which you're then watching the recording of from this phone. Anyway, basically I had a list, and I wanted to go over a few things. I wanted to go over 10 years. I mean, next year, 2021, is basically when it's going to be a whole decade since I started up YouTube, since I did a YouTube channel. Like early 2012 was when I started actually creating videos a little bit. But basically, you know, like early 10s is when I started creating this channel and started wanting to do like YouTube stuff and things like that. So I kind of wanted to just go over that a little bit. I'm gonna have like a montage sort of like thing over the last like nearly 8 years, I guess, of stuff that I filmed from all the way from a journey through Minecraft, yeah, like my very first video, all the way up until sort of like Helios stuff. So like the skits that we did, the games we did, all the stuff that I used to like compile together and edit up, like sort of like a best bits thing, but like a best bits decade. Now, I'll be honest, probably everyone is doing that at this point, and hey, I don't mind jumping on a bandwagon. I don't mind. Who knows? But I just felt that I wanted to do something like that. Like, I wanted to say like, yeah, you know, this is where I started out. Sort of like I progressed a bit, things like that. And it also kind of gets me in the same sort of like, or I'm hoping so at least, it will get me in the same sort of motivation to create this video. I wanted to talk about mental health as well. Bit of another subject that people go on about quite a lot nowadays, but I did want to go over it specifically more sort of like the mental health through last decade, because I did have a lot of ups and downs. I'd say mostly downs, to be fair. Um, Going through sort of like 2011, 2012 ish. I don't really remember 2010 that much. I mean, I had an iPod and I was listening to LMFAO back in 2010. I was listening to, in 2011, I was listening to Walk the Moon, started to like listen to like more Coldplay stuff and things like that. And started to get a bit more happier, I guess, back in 2011. And then 2012 comes along, and then I get a little bit more happier for reasons like I get into a relationship, and that's all good, fun and good. Like I start going out more, I start doing things with my life, I start making friends, start talking to people. And then 2013, it kind of all starts going back down again, and that relationship ended, which I kind of knew that as soon as, like, in order to end it, I knew that it was going to be, I would get depression. I knew that I was going to be alone. I knew that, at that stage, like, I only had that one person in my life necessarily. I had a couple of mates, but they weren't sort of like always there. Sort of like they got their own stuff, own groups of friends and things like that. And so sort of when 2013, sort of like mid 2013 came around, I knew that in order to make myself happier, I would have to make myself, or at least to survive, I would have to make myself depressed. I mean, I didn't want to make myself depressed, but I knew that the option or the choice that I had to make would make me depressed. And so I had to choose it, and as bad as it felt at the time, and well, at the time it felt alright. It was like, yeah, I'm free, I'm happy now, I'm not dealing with what was happening at the time, and then, which I'm not really going to go over, for the sake of their sake, not for mine. In front of my friends, like, I just take the piss out of it all the time, but for their sake, I'm not going to go over sort of what happened necessarily, but it just had to end, which, yeah, 2013 was fine. After that point, like, I would game with Kieran, I'd started focusing more on YouTube a bit, so you would have seen like a lot of videos. I started college, so like the friends I did have, we became a bit closer because we hung out more, we did more things together. End of 2013, we started hanging out with more people, playing more games, recording more, live streaming more. I tried that as well for a bit, and then 2014 comes around, and I lose a family member, which was quite close to me, which kind of sucked. I was still close with my mates, but I could feel sort of like the depression, sort of like the loneliness sort of side of things start kicking in. I didn't really notice it that well at the start of 2014, because we did start things like Helios. We started sort of like recording as a group, started hanging out with those people, but the more and more that sort of went on, the more that I could tell that something was wrong, in terms of like inside my brain sort of thing. Now 2014 comes along, like keep on going through mid 2014, late 2014, it's starting to get a bit worse, and then like I'm still with my mates, I'm still playing games, still having fun, recording a little bit, but they're starting to sort of like not do it as much. They're starting to sort of like give up a little bit. They're not really enjoying it as much. They want to do something else, other than video based, which is fine. And then 2015 comes, and I think 2015 was probably my worst year. So we still had Helios. I still record little bits here and there. I'm making it very much YouTube based, but with that sort of stuff, like through these sort of time periods, I did try and like ignore all that sort of stuff. I did try and like forget about it all, just move it on. Like I was in sort of like quite a dark patch. So that's why sort of like I'm making all these references to like, oh yeah, me and my mates, we did Helios, we did YouTube, because that's what's recorded, and that's probably one of the parts I haven't blocked out in my mind from when, or that I can remember at least, with a conscious mind back in those times. But what happened basically was, did a couple videos. I did more effort. I was like, right, okay, these guys don't really want to do it anymore. I'll just record on my own. Like, we'll play games together, and when we do that, I'll record it, I'll edit it up and things like that. Like, it was alright, but it was more like I was just churning out videos for the sake of it. I was doing this just to keep my mind off things, because at this point, like, I started to like really feel depressed, like really alone. It got to a point where I was like, right, okay, I doubt I'm ever going to get in a relationship like within the next however many years. Like, I thought to myself, like, right, okay, it took me like 15 years, 14 years to get a relationship. It's probably going to take me another like 14, 15 years to get another relationship like that, or at least like a good one. So yeah, I just sort of, you know, was with my mates and that, and like I felt put aside a bit more, because like the problem is that when I was with them and playing games and that, like, they were there, but I don't think they understand what, or understood what depression was. Part of me still feels like sometimes they don't, but at that point, like, they definitely didn't know what was happening and stuff. There was one day that I do remember, because it was probably like the lowest point that I've had in my life, was when I was at college. I was fine on the morning, like I was getting a train to college. Tried to talk to someone, they were just like, nah, that's fine. I was like, right, okay. I got into college, and then as soon as like, I guess as soon as I stepped off the train to walk into college, I just, like, this flood of like depression just hit me. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to open my mouth. I felt that if I talked, I would cry, because like this just wave of emotion just hit me so hard that I just couldn't do anything, really. Like, I couldn't say anything, couldn't do anything. So I walk up to my mates that are in, like, we're at lunch. Don't say a word. I'm like, I just nod to them and things like that. Like, and then without saying anything, I just type it up on my phone. I don't have the text anymore. I don't know if the guys still have the text anymore, but it just basically went on the basis that I can't talk right now. If I talk, I will cry. It is that bad. I feel so depressed, so alone, trapped inside my own head. Like, at this point, I was writing like depression diaries, because I needed to like put into words how bad I felt at that period of time. With that, I, like, they didn't really know what to do. One of my mates was like, yeah, okay, we're here for you, which it kind of helped. The other guy didn't know what to do, and he sent it to one of my other mates, and that other mate was like, he's very empathetic, so he was quite worried. He thought it was the guy that was texting him at first, but then the guy that texted him was like, no, it's me, it's Greg, that's feeling like that. And then sort of like, he was like, no, it's alright, we're here, sort of thing. I mean, it didn't really help. Like, I didn't really have any support, I felt, at that period of time. One of my mates, Kieran, he didn't really understand about it as well, but we were gaming at the time, and like, when I felt like that, he's like, right, okay, let's just game, get it off your mind. And in a way, it did work. Like, that did get me through some rough periods back in 2015. And then I got a job back in 2015. Funnily enough, started work the day that the Back to the Future 2 is set to go into the future. I think it was 22nd of October, 2015. I think. I can't really remember that well. I haven't watched the film in years, but I started work on there. Started work at McDonald's. You know, one of my mates, Matt, was working there. Another one, Tom, made friends there as well. There was a guy called Dion. He was like, if you've seen any Helios stuff, he was in like one of the Comic Cons, the October one, when we played like Rocket League. He was like with me and Callum, like playing Rocket League, which was pretty fun. But yeah, like I started working there, and I felt a bit better because I had something to do. Like I wasn't just trapped in my own brain. I started earning money, so I could buy things, which isn't the greatest thing. You know, retail therapy, yeah, it's great, but sometimes it's not that great, and sometimes you just spend money and don't really think about things. But luckily, I was smart enough not to spend all my money. But throughout that whole point, I was still suffering pretty bad. But one thing that I did do is all those depression diaries that I was writing, I put into a book. I actually published, I say published, it was on Amazon, or it is on Amazon, a book called Broken Minds. Didn't do that great. Some people bought it. Got it in a hardback version at one point. I don't think I've still got it, but it wasn't bad. At college, I had to do something for like graphic design, and I made like a book cover for that book, and I used that book cover for it. All right, I guess. It wasn't the greatest of graphical design stuff that I did, but I put that out, and once I did it, I felt a bit better because even if no one read it, like I put something out there, and I'd completed something. I felt like conveying my emotions into a creative form helped out a lot. It gave me something to do, even though I had to think about how bad I felt. I had to do it creatively. I had to think, how would I put that into words? How would I put that into a storyline? How can I put all my fears, how my brain is like processing these things, these emotions? How can I put that into a book? And it ended up working, to be fair. I'm pretty proud of it. It's only a short book, but I'm pretty happy of how it's turned out. So that happened, 2016, just normal year. Things started to get a bit better. Still felt quite lonely. Still no relationship. And then things did start getting a bit better. One of my other relatives died back in 2015 as well. My aunt, not the one married to my uncle that died in 2014, but one of my aunts, my mum's side of things, she died of cancer that in 2015. I think around about March, Mayish, I think. But yeah, that happened. Pretty much ever since then, my parents haven't been great. Still here somehow. Still not broken up. But that was another thing that sort of like didn't really help. So I sort of like locked myself away in my own room because I did that. Also, my brain sort of like was trapped in itself as well. So I was just sort of trapped in my own thoughts, quite alone. So I didn't really have anything for that. That's why like the gaming helped a little bit. Anyway, back on 2016. Yeah, not much else happened. I quit my job because that started to get really, really bad in terms of like the way that people were treated there, the way that I felt working there. I knew that I was going to have a depressive episode again. Like I knew that it was going to be just as bad as 2015 if I kept working there. So I sort of was like, look, I'm gonna do an apprenticeship. I finished college. I'm gonna do an apprenticeship. I'm gonna start working on this apprenticeship. I'm gonna start applying for apprenticeships and things like that. All for like media, like video editing and things like that. So I tried all that sort of stuff. None of it really got anywhere. Like I had interviews and things like that from like what was it called? BBC gave me an interview, like a video interview thing. But yeah, I quit McDonald's, and then pretty much 2017, still depressed. but not as bad as it was back in 2015, 2016. Like start like the end of 2016 was a lot better, but probably the best that I felt in like 2-3 years nearly. And then 2017 comes around. I do a lot of videos on this channel now because Helios basically broke up. I gave up on sort of like just churning out videos. We did a couple of live skits here and there. I think at the end of 2017 we did one. But I just wanted to do a lot more creative stuff, a lot more video stuff, a lot more editing stuff. So we did all that. A load of videos basically because I didn't have a job. I was just sort of like, what's it called? Just applying for apprenticeships and things like that, but never got anywhere. So towards the end of 2017, I was like, right, okay, I need a job. I'm going to apply for retail. I am very antisocial. At this point, like I'd locked myself away in my bedroom like the Sleeping Beauty for the last 4 years or so. So I was like, yeah, I need to get out and I'll do retail. And luckily, what sort of like pushed me over that edge was another great thing that happened in my life, which was why end of 2017, 2018, last year, basically everything since then has gotten a lot better. I still have like days where I'm depressed, days where I'm not feeling great, but it's got a lot more few and far between than it used to be, even though like the stuff with my parents is still going on and things like that. But basically, what happened was me and Matt were playing a game. We were playing a game called Talisman, and on my computer, and we were on Discord because at that point we changed over to Discord rather than using Skype for the last. I think we stopped using Skype back in 2016 because who the hell uses Skype nowadays? It's just trash, especially compared to Discord. But anyway, me and Matt are on Discord chatting and stuff, and then he answers this call. Now, Matt for some reason got added into this group chat. Kind of a weird one. A load of random people that he hadn't really met in real life. I mean, I don't know how or why or what. Maybe they were at Comic-Con, I think. But he was in that chat, and then for some reason I got roped into this conversation, like because I could hear what they were talking about on Discord, and they could hear me, I guess, somehow. But anyway, there were like this one guy was saying like, oh, about like horses and things like that. So I was like, yeah, booty or beautiful or something like that. I said like a pun, and that guy was like, yes, get whoever this guy is, get him onto the Facebook chat. So I got added into this chat by Matt, and then that was really good. So I started chatting to people there. I was like, oh, maybe it's nearly been, at that point, 2017. Yeah, it'd been 4 years. So it'd nearly been 5 years since I became single. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll find someone on there. Like maybe I'll get chatting to people. There was only a few girls on there, and it was a weird chat with memes and stuff like that and weird humour. But anyway, I was part of that chat. And then one day, this very sort of like nice girl was just chatting on there, and me, Callum, Connor, and Matt had gone down to the pub, and for some reason she'd left the chat. So this was the only person as well that added me on Facebook. Like out of that whole chat, no one else added me as like a friend. So I was like, okay. So they left. So me being me, like I try and help out people. I can't make myself happy, so my happiness stems from making other people happy. So what happened? I'm like, hey, I saw you left the chat. What's wrong? What happened? Like, talk to me. And then she does. I didn't say talk to me as in like that. That sounds a bit forceful. But anyway, I say like, yeah, like I'm here to talk. Like, if there's anything wrong, she's like, no, like, I'm not feeling too great, things like that. So we start chatting. I liked her humour, kind of like mine in a way, but she actually made me happy. So, which was a first thing in a while. Now the issue is that she was in a relationship at the time, so I was like, Now, a bit of backstory to this. When I dated a person back in 2012, she was also in a relationship before we started chatting. I was at my aunt's, I think, at that point. Like we down on like a holiday thing. And we started chatting, and then like a week later, she said that she had like issues with her BF, which at that point back in 2012, I thought, oh yeah, best friend. No, apparently it meant boyfriend. So she had troubles with him, and then come the week after, she's like, yeah, like I got something to tell you, like at school tomorrow or that. And so yeah, that's basically yeah. She kind of started chatting to me while she had a boyfriend, and then dumped that boyfriend for me, which I feel kind of about. But anyway, back on the subject of what happened recently. I say recently, it's about nearly 3 years, well, just over 2 years ago now. But this girl's got a boyfriend. Same sort of boat, really. Like she lives far away. This guy lives far away as well, like further apart, sort of thing. And he's basically saying, like, look, after you finish uni, I'll come up and see you. And then bearing in mind that it would have been about like 4 years it would have taken for that sort of thing. So basically he was saying to her, well, he actually did say to her, like, oh yeah, I'll see you in 4 years' time or something like that. It's like, hang on, you're supposed to be dating. It's long distance, but you don't want to go there within the next 4 years. So anyway, that chat happened. Me and this girl started to get quite close. And then lo and behold, basically, those two break up because the guy, he doesn't really want to be in that relationship, said for about a month. And then, yeah, she turns out to be single. I wonder what happens next. So yeah, I swoop in there a couple of weeks after. On the 10th of November, I end up with my old phone. I put the phone on this chair, under this desk, put on light blue lights because they're her favourite colour. I ask her out, and I record it because one thing that she said was that, she's always been asked out over text. So I was like, I can't be there at the moment. I want to do it now. I'm going to ask her out over a video. I would have asked her out over a video chat, but like it was getting later and later and later, so I didn't know whether or not we were going to be able to chat that night. So I did it, and I sent it to her, and oh my god, was it cringe? Because I had like shorts on, things like that. It was kind of like, when you get like those interview things where you wear like a suit, a tie and things like that, but it's only a video one, so you end up just wearing like your boxers and nothing else, sort of thing. It was kind of like that sort of situation where I got sort of like under the desk, put the camera up on the chair, wore a suit, wore a tie, tidied myself up a bit, put on some blue lights, and asked her out. Like a pillock. And for some reason, she said yes. And ever since then, as you might have guessed, I've popped down there, definitely before 4 years' time, and seen her a few times. Pretty much at this point, ever since April of 2018, pretty much every month, once a month at least. Missed out a couple of things here and there, but then it would be like a week that we'd see each other, because usually it's only like 3 days, because I've only got 3 days off work. But anyway, I'll continue on. This girl, Sophie, as you might have guessed, basically helped me out, pushed me towards sort of like, I mean, she didn't push me as in like, like, you need to get a job, but she said like, she made me feel more confident in myself. And so I applied for a job. I got the job, phone shop, tried it. Now, they were absolutely trash at training anybody to do anything. The assistant manager didn't do sweet FA, and in fact, when it came to getting the job that I've got now, the reference I had to give was him, and he said that he didn't work with me for long enough. Now, bearing in mind this was the guy that was supposed to train me up and teach me all that I need to know, or how to sell phones and things like that. Yeah, he said he didn't work with me long enough. So, yeah, you can gather how that went. But yeah, basically they had a 3-month probation period. I failed because I got my training course 2 weeks before I was supposed to have the end of my probation. And the problem with that as well is that in those 2 weeks was the Easter holidays, in which case no one bloody came in. And so I was left with this knowledge and a bit more confidence, but no customers to test it out on. And so I failed. And then a couple months pass, still looking for a job. Find one in the job, in the place that I'm working at now. I applied for it, somehow got it, and now it's been, as of today, well, as of me recording this today, I'll probably end up uploading it at a late stage because I've only got like a couple of days off this week, and this is one day, so I'll probably end up uploading it Friday or something like that. But anyway, I ended up getting that job, and now I've been working there for about 1.5 years now, exactly from the 6th of January. So I think I'm not too bad at my job if I've still got it. I think it was just the fact that their training back at the job that I had previous to that wasn't very good. But anyway, that's basically how it is. And heck, the video might not have even recorded this long. I don't know how it's going to work out. This is the first time me doing this. Like, I'm recording on my phone all the way across my room. But it's got decent cameras, and I could have got my tripod and my other camera out. But I'd rather record this in 4K so you can see my ugly face in all its glory, all my fine glory, all my hairs, my beard hairs. And using the microphone here because I haven't used Audacity in ages, so that's probably crashed as well. So I'm hoping this goes up all right. What I probably will do is I'll probably do 2 separate videos. So this will be sort of like a mental health sort of like recap over the last decade, and then I'll do like a separate sort of like video thing. It'll probably be up next week if I've got time. Just sort of like recapping like from my first video to my somewhat of my most recent video, sort of like from going from Minecraft, going through sort of like the calendar things that we did for Helios that me and Tom did, like on Gmod and things like that. My word was that, to be fair, as much as no one really watches it, there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube that I've uploaded over the last 8 years or so. A lot of things that I'm proud of, a lot of ideas that I'm happy with. And at the very least, if no one watches it, then at least I've got that there as a memory for myself. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely 2020. Good vision. I was trying to think of a joke, but I can't really think of a joke at the moment. I hope you have a lovely 2020. The 20s be a great decade, hopefully. Apart from all the World War III things that's happening at the moment, which will be fine. I've seen Fallout before once. I've never really owned the game. I played Fallout 76, but is that really a game? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. RCS, as I used to say, rate, comment, subscribe. Even though, well, nowadays it's like, comment, subscribe, and I think LCS is a music channel, or is it NCS? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe I'll see you around when I inevitably get my arse up and make more videos on YouTube and things like that. But who knows? One thing I probably will say though is that I doubt I'll be making any gaming videos anymore, because I don't really, when it comes to editing, I can't really do anything with gaming videos anymore. Like, there's not much that I can. You get people that put like subtitles up on, things like that, funny moments. I'm generally not, when it comes to sort of like in games, I'm generally not a funny person. Just me talking to a camera as well, as you may have guessed. I'm generally not a funny person. I try to be, but it's more of my humor and sort of like jokes is more sort of like observant ones. So like I can joke around. Like if someone says something, I can whip back. You know, something that I've been told is like I'm a demolisher of things when it comes to work. Is that I can end the conversation. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the videos that I have uploaded over the last nearly a decade. Enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.